First, could you maybe just give me a synopsis of the Row Indies project? What is your goal? What is it you're hoping to achieve in this project? And then once we've kind of touched on that, we'll switch to focusing in more deeply on what multi-species health is.
I will start. I will just say that there are two sets of overarching aims. One is empirical, and the other is conceptual. And the empirical aim is um, to look at um, how safe cohabitation between people and dogs can be strengthened and cultivated in India. So, how can health at the people street dog interface be achieved? And what are the different aspects and dimensions that need to be taken into consideration to both understand health, um, to identify the causes of ill health, and to tackle the various problems that might be there, even while building on the positive dimensions of that interface. So that's the empirical aim. Uh, More conceptually, I think the aim is to use this particular case of people street dog interactions and health of that interface to understand what post anthropocentric health might actually look like. Because like you said earlier, we're used to thinking of health in very human terms. Even the idea of one health ultimately comes back to how we can achieve human health by intervening in animal health or planetary health as well. It's about like how do you manage ecological health so as to achieve human health and well-being. So, but what we're trying to do here is to think about like what might health beyond the human look like. This is not to say that we wouldn't take into consideration human health, but if you were to think about health, across the different sort of entities that inhabit the planet, what might it look like? So instead of just, so
Mm,
human health involves men's health and women's health and children's health and blah, 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 right? So there are multiple components which sometimes are aligned, sometimes they're not. The
mm,
same would go for health when we're thinking about it in a multi-species sense, right? It then has multiple aspects to it, which may or may not be aligned, but then how do we even begin to think of it as the bigger conceptual aim?
mm. And I guess, yeah, so often, like when animals are included in these health conversations at the World Health Organization, or as you mentioned earlier, agricultural animals are often included. It's how do we keep the animals healthy for consumption, not necessarily how do we keep the animals healthy for their sake or for their own communities or collectives, which is quite interesting. Yeah, so let's get into the concept of multi-species. Oh, sorry, I have one more question about Row Indies. You said the empirical, you've got empirical and theoretical ideas that you're grappling with. But while I was looking at your website, it seems that you're also doing quite a few interventions where you're creating videos, you're creating new media, you're talking to policy practitioners. How is that part of the project? Is that something that you envisioned from the onset, or is this has this been a kind of emergent part of the project?
It's been so because I've been doing research on this for a while. I've My conversations with various practitioners has been, you know, it was built in right from the beginning. The nature has changed, partners have changed, but the fact that it's quite closely, that a lot of the project itself is has always been in conversation with practitioners and with policy actors. That bit has remained um, quite constant. It's been there from the get go.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, so we've decided not to. I mean, the usual operandi in academic projects is to like do the research, publish it, and then think about public engagement. But in this particular project, we've decided not to do that because it just takes, how long academic publication takes, and we
mm,
felt that, that it wouldn't. Yeah, we wanted our project partners to not lose faith.
yeah.
So we've been feeding back and engaging with them in with kind of emerging results and findings and the kind of the how that can be used sooner rather than later.
And how long is the project supposed to be going on for? Like, what is the long term vision for the project?
It started in 2021, supposed to end in 2025, but it took us a couple of years to get it off the ground because there were lots of delays. So we'll probably it will run for a few more years.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I'm really proud of you that you didn't immediately go to blaming COVID. I feel like anytime anything comes up with 2019 and 2021, everyone's like, there were delays because of COVID. And I'm sure COVID played a part in it, but
No,
I
it was
really.
because of me.
it's
I take
become
all the blame.
it's become like this perfect like stopgap for like why was this late? Well, COVID. So I was waiting for that like phrase in your sentence and it didn't come up. So that was quite cool.